Well, hello traders and investors. I'm LA Little. This is your daily NeoTA wrap. Take a look at these markets from a neoclassical perspective. We're looking at supply and demand on the charts and using that information to make decisions about when to enter or when to exit. It's called neoclassical. Here's the ending numbers. It was actually an update on the NASDAQ NDX. We had a huge blowout move again on biotechs. That's 3 days running. That got the healthcare, the biotechs going. XLK, tech also got a run. The stocks and big cap tech contributed a little bit, but it was really biotech that led everything on the upside, and that was 1% gain that you see here on the NDX. If you look elsewhere, the NASDAQ composite, not as it's broader, didn't have as much of a run. Bonds got a little bit of a push. Gold got a little bit of a push. Oil down big again. Oil starting to break down pretty bad. And elsewhere, it got what we expected, and that is we got a little bit of a pullback off of those bearish setups that we had last night. But getting a pullback in this market, folks, is not an easy thing. Matter of fact, it is very difficult. You can see the gains and the losses. NASDAQ held everything up again. Losses across the board overseas for the most part, and I think that was off of what we had the night before. Let's take a look at the charts together here and see what we got. So this is 2 days running now, a little pullback. If you go back and look, I mean, there's not very many times that we've had 2 days running down. I mean, there's just, it just doesn't happen. I mean, I'm looking back here, I can see like maybe twice. This market just refuses to come back in any significant way. It is inside that zone, though, we talked about. I mean, so now the test is going to be, can you get back over it? Right, because once you get over it like we did, and then you come back into it, the real struggle is to actually keep it going, go back up again, right? Because this just got pulled back into the range. Now, if we look elsewhere, right, we have much more of a range elsewhere than we do here, and that is if we look at the NASDAQ, the NDX. Let's get rid of that one, draw another one. You actually have kind of an equidistant area here, top and bottom. Not exactly, but fairly. It's trying to get back up into this higher range. If it does, it can go test the top again. And so this is the key spot for the NASDAQ, the NDX. I believe the NASDAQ is going to look the same. And volume has been a little bit elevated compared to what they have been. And the NDX actually got over that area today. So I think tomorrow will be key to see if this thing can continue to move back up. The one thing that you have to notice is the small caps. The small caps looks like we got a bad quote here in terms of volumes. It wasn't that big, but turning to the Russell, small caps still struggling. They've been struggling. That struggle continues now. It looks like we're coming back in. Yeah. We're coming back into this bar here. And there's two bars. There's this one and that one. And that's kind of the definition of most of the support. Volume on this one is 3857. You're hitting it with 35. This looks to me like this is going to try and push back the other way tomorrow as it comes into that low. So I think that you may finally see something here. This is an ABCD down. Yeah, from here. So if we project that, that would actually get us into this bar. So we may see a little bit more, but the Russell's getting close to another buy area on this big range it's been in for a long time. And you can see that more clearly here when you look at it from a perspective of weekly, right? This area here has all been a big range trade now for quite a while. You've tried to get over it, right? Keep getting pulled back down in it. If you take the halfway mark, it's right about in there. That's about that 1385 number. And if we pull back up here, 1385, yeah, it's back into this bar. So that looks to be the target, about 1388.85. So the Russell, as it comes into that, that's a place to look at it again, given the way this market trades. When you're talking about a narrow advance, I mean, this is about as narrow as it gets. You are up on semiconductors, nothing big, right? Still in that bounce. Up on XLK, again, nothing big, just small stuff. Up huge on biotech, right? Another blowout volume day. This just, to me, this looks like, you know, people caught on the wrong side of the trade, scrambling to get out, and others scrambling to get in. And the big move here, of course, put pressure upwards on the XLK and V in general. Now, this one had broken out sometime back, about 2 weeks ago. I told members back here, it was about 3 weeks ago, it looks like, that this was the place to start thinking about the XLV, and it did get the follow through on that breakout. Elsewhere, nothing. Consumer discretionary, nothing. XLU, nothing. Consumer durables. We had talked about consumer durables coming back into that big bar bottom. Remember, I told you it was, you know, it was going to get it the bounce, or, you know, it made sense to get the bounce. It was the first trip back after more than 6 bars. So it comes back into that, gets its bounce, right? Pops back up, right? Pops back up to this area here. Now, it's hard to judge where they're going to get. I mean, the ideal spot would have been right there, but it didn't quite get there. They turn it around, less volume. Now they start heading it back down. They're going to go right back down here and try to test it again. Now, if it fails this time down, then you get a deeper retrace, and this big move up is going to be taken away. That's the XLP, XLI industrials. Let's see what the rest of these look like. And slowly getting reeled in. That one actually did a full retest regen, a bullish, and failed. So the industrials actually don't look that good. Financials had been leading. They're coming back. This one's actually setting up for a buy. As you come back into a retest regen here, probabilities are pretty good. And let's see here on basic materials. That just didn't do it, did it? Coming back in, doing a test again on that swing point high. That's probably going to fail this time. So I don't see basic materials doing it. We know energy isn't going to do it. Financials, yeah. Industrials, no. Discretionary, no. There's just not a lot to drive this market higher. Here's the energy. I keep getting asked about energy. Is this the place to buy? Folks, you don't buy until something changes. Nothing's changed here. This just keeps making low after low after low. And if I pull over the weekly, the monthly chart, you're losing the swing point low on the monthly as well. So I believe at this point, matter of fact, you've already lost the bullish retest regen. This low was 6520. Yeah, it's already failed. So, you know, what was up is down. This thing is going lower. If you're in this sector, forget it. You know, yeah, you'll get a bounce, but they'll just come back in and sell it again probably. You got to get something more material if you want to play in that space. I think that's it for tonight. I didn't see anything else. You know, what's going to happen tomorrow? It looks to me like these markets are going to try to bounce again. I just don't see where they're going to get the juice from, and it's probably just going to continue to be a range. Russell, as it pulls back in, some of the others pull back in. There are places to make the range trade again on the backside. Buy the dips and sell the rips. See you later, folks. Good night.